Hello, everyone. We are live. Philip, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to me. First of all, I I've been on Substack for about a year. There's so many voices on Substack promising to make you rich, and hey, follow my channel, subscribe to my channel, and you'll be wealthy within 6 months. And Right Build Scale has really been to me at least, they've been such a huge resource because of just a focus on genuine value and really genuine business guidance that can apply it everywhere. So I just really appreciate everything that you all are building.
Thank you so much. First of all, also thanks to you for having me today. Today is a special day for me because I get to check your name off my Substack live stream bucket list. I have I'm not joking. I mean, when I started on Substack, I knew I will love this platform the moment that live streaming came out. I knew this is exactly what I love.
Mm.
I've been working in the past for a startup accelerator where we also built a newsletter platform. And I think it was almost 10 years ago now, we did lots and lots of live streams. And the cool thing was we basically sold to the people, hey, you need to do live streams because it's so natural and it's unedited. True reason was we didn't have money to afford some editors that could help us with the editing. So we needed to do live streams. So I have a huge background in doing live streams. I always enjoyed them. I always had so much fun on them. And then when Substack came out, I said like, okay, let's do this. I want to completely jump in. I want to do so many live streams. And up until the point where the people started calling me Mr. Livestream on Substack. So then I said like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. Let's be more selective. But you've always
That's
been on my
funny.
bucket list. I'm super
Well,
happy. We
thank
had a
you.
couple of back and forth. So super happy that we're doing this today. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, there's a lot that I'm excited to talk about, and congratulations on your recent wedding too.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. I saw CNN was published it, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, how cool would it be to start build a business, but then also build a life together with the person you love. So
Yeah, I mean, I love challenges, so I not only love to challenge myself in sports, I also love to challenge myself in life. So when everyone tells you don't start a business with your fiance, I said like, yeah, let's not give a fuck about it. I started a
let's do it.
business with my girlfriend, then she became my fiance, and last September we got married. And yeah, ever since it's been up and downs in life, in business, but
Oh
with
yeah,
everyone, but we're quite happy with where things are heading. I think Substack has a huge portion of that. It's an amazing platform. It's great to be here. Yeah. And in addition to that, I'm also in the lucky position that I get to run this business not only with Sinan, but also with now a good friend of ours,
yeah,
Yari. And
yeah.
it's like super cool because when you have three people in a meeting and two of them are engaged and now married, you would always think like it's some kind of unfair to make three-way decisions. But it's actually the best thing that could have happened because Yara is probably the best co-founder you could have because he's
That's
so
awesome.
good at balancing Sinem and myself. Because whenever
Oh,
there's like a
that's good.
disagreement, it's usually between the two of us. So yeah,
That's
just
good.
to lift the curtain of what's happening behind the scenes at Whitebird Skill.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, it's good to have that kind of balance and
Yeah.
to have somebody. So with that said, you've been in the content world for a very long time. For me, the journey was different. I was in business and I was in finance, and really a year ago, I started thinking I really need to start building an audience. You've been doing this for a long time. You started, I don't know, you mentioned at one point 10 years ago. Now you have
Mhm.
over 45,000 subscribers. What essentially, what's the short story of how you got from there to here and now leading Right Build Scale?
Absolutely love it. It's probably one of the favorite things that I love to talk about because everyone thinks like, yeah, he's been a content creator for such a long time, and I will prove you wrong, actually. So I grew up playing competitive tennis. I really wanted to become a
Really?
tennis professional. I played
Wow.
Dominic Thiem 7 times. I beat him once, sixth time he
Oh,
completely kicked
wow.
my ass. Probably I should tell you, I was 10, he was 8. So yeah, yeah, we're both from Austria, so we faced each other quite a lot of times. I always wanted to become a tennis professional. At one point, I hurt my wrist and I said goodbye to that.
Mm.
I continued school. And I've always known I love challenges. I love building things. So it was quite sure for me that I need to start studying economics, because if you know that you want to become an entrepreneur, but you have no idea what you want to do, you
Mhm.
start studying economics. The good thing is I figured out what I want to do before I could finish my studies. So I dropped out of university and fully focused on my business, which was probably
Nice.
10 years ago. And I started creating video courses on Skillshare. Probably I started
Huh.
because I wanted to improve speaking English and just sharing certain things. YouTube was like what everyone was doing. So I tried a different platform, and it was horrible, frustrating, not working at all. I had like, I don't know, I think it took me 3 months to earn my first dollar. Then I earned $400, then $800. And suddenly in my fourth earning month, I made almost 5 figures from it. So I was
Oh,
like at the
wow.
point where I said like, whoa, fuck, this is working. How do I pay taxes? How do I set up a company?
Yeah.
And yeah, since then, I never really looked back. I then
What
met
what were you teaching?
um, cool thing. I was completely into startups, and I was working for a startup organization, and we were trying to connect startup founders with investors.
Mm,
So I was creating lots of presentations of what investors wanted to see,
okay,
because basically I
okay.
spent a lot of time talking to them, and
Yeah.
this was not working at all. But then there was this super tiny app that you probably have heard of. It's called Instagram. And at one point, everyone wanted to get more Instagram followers. So I recorded Skillshare videos because I've seen for other people, people want to
Huh.
learn about Instagram. So I basically looked at
Yeah.
what's working for others and tried to do it a little bit better than they did. So I was one of the first ones on the platform who basically did not just talk about it, but like I filmed my hands
Yeah.
clicking on the screen. So yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
but keep in mind, it was 10 years ago. If you create anything like this nowadays, you get like
Oh,
three
yeah.
views on YouTube. Back then, you were able to make good money off it.
Yeah.
And maybe this ties then back to Substack. The cool thing was already there 9 years ago, I had like this tiny mastermind. I had a group of people who were doing similar things like I did, and we were like exchanging strategies. And
Mhm.
all of us were like, hey, leverage the platform, create more content, grow on the platform as quickly as you can, because whenever you uploaded a new course, your old students got a notification. And so like the more you created, the more money you were making. It was like this huge snowball. But like
Huh.
one guy from our mastermind, Sorin, he did things differently. He didn't focus much on creating courses, but he created an ebook that he was giving away for free, telling people, sign up, get this ebook and you're on my email list. And we all thought like, this guy
Huh.
is so stupid. Why is he doing that? And like, long story short, 3 months later, the platform changed the algorithm. We were no longer able to reach our own students. Everyone was completely fucked. I was making
Oh,
five
wow.
figures every single month. And suddenly I was only able to make a couple $100 from it. And this one guy, Sorin, basically moved his audience to the next platform, to Udemy. And ever since, it was a lesson for me where I said, like, no matter what I do in business, I want to build an email list. I want to have complete control over my business. I want to be 100% platform independent.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's why I love Substack so much. In between that, I did a lot of in-person workshops teaching people entrepreneurship and
Hmm.
how to focus on your personal growth, basically teaching things you didn't learn at school. Then
Yeah.
COVID hit. Sinem and I basically, Sinem was already writing on Medium. So we took this to Medium. She started writing about it. Then she went super viral on Medium, and we built the Medium Writing Academy. And from there, we somehow ended up on Substack. I could talk about this for hours. I probably
How
keep
long
it
have you
short.
been
Yeah.
on Substack?
I've been on Substack since the 4th of July, 2024. So it's getting 2 years in July.
Okay.
And yeah, it was absolutely cool because before that, I've never really created written content. I mean, I had a Medium profile to test things.
Mhm.
It was horrible. It was frustrating. I'm not a writer at all. We always say in our business has two typewriters and a calculator. So Sinem and Yari are the typewriters. I see myself as the calculator. I love to operate the business. I
Yeah.
love to build funnels. I love to talk strategy. And that's what I love so much about Substack, because Substack is not just about writing. Back, if you take a look at medium.com, you needed a good headline and solid writing, and you
Yeah.
were able to make 4, probably 5 figures a month. Now on Substack, you need offer creation, marketing, sales, retention,
Yeah.
and so many more things. So it's such a cool place for every creator to be in.
Yeah. It the, there's so many tools within Substack, and one of the things that you brought up is the value of having Jari and Sinem,
Hmm?
and how much easier is it to do this and really almost anything in life when you have a community, a mastermind around you of just really smart people versus
Um,
people who are just chugging along by themselves, just trying to make it.
yeah, I mean, I'm a strong fan of communities and masterminds.
Mm,
I strongly believe it's the best way to learn from each other. Um, for multiple reasons. Number one reason for me is I'm competitive. I told you I grew up
yeah,
with competitive sports. So if you want to motivate me, you just tell me, Philip, you cannot do this, or the other person
yeah,
is doing that better as you. That motivates me. So I love comparing myself with other creators because I gain motivation from it. I know a lot of
mm,
other people who say, yeah, comparing myself with others completely frustrates me because let's be honest, if you take a look at the internet, if you have 5,000 subscribers, you want to have 10,000. If you have
yeah,
10,000, you want to have 100,000. If you have 100,000, there's an inner circle of people who have a million of subscribers on
mm,
their email list where you cannot get in. So the
yeah,
sooner you accept that there's always a bigger number, the better. So that's what I love about it. The second thing is I'm a big fan of understanding what motivates you and what drives you. I'm the
yeah,
kind of person I thrive in a team setting. I love to come up with ideas. I love to build things, but not by myself, but with others. So for me, it was clear right from day one when we joined Substack that we are going to create one publication with the three of us rather than three different publications. If we would have decided we create individual publications, I still would not have started because I'm not a
mm,
writer. I don't enjoy
yeah,
this. I probably write too long form articles, which are usually listicles that Sinem and Yari need to heavily edit. But yeah, that's the part of that. As for working with Sinem and Yari, I strongly believe that in order to build a successful business, you need to put in so much work. In order to make it super successful, it's not like that you need to put in three times the amount of that. You need to go from here to here, just a little bit more.
yeah,
Usually on the internet, winner takes it all. Things just compound over time. We said right from the beginning, if we do it with the three of us, it allows us to build certain things that we would not be able to build by ourselves. So nowadays we're
yeah,
working with lots of coaching clients who want to grow their audience on Substack. Usually those are all experts who have an audience on LinkedIn, who know what they're doing. They want to come to Substack to
mm,
build a business on top of it. If you, for example, let's say you're an absolute expert in weight loss. If you come to Substack, you need to spend hundreds of hours really figuring out how the platform works, setting up templates, building the infrastructure. And once you figured it out, you need to keep going. You need to stay up to date on the platform. And that's just boring work because
yeah,
if I'm an expert at weight loss, I don't want to focus on a Substack algorithm. So that's where we said, hey, you know what? We take a look at this, we do those things, we
mm,
figure things out,
that
we
makes
test
sense.
them ourselves on our publication. And then that's also where which one of our clients came up with when they called me like the chief Substack officer, basically saying like, have someone who knows Substack, he
Yeah,
provides a shortcut for you. So that's like the idea of what we want to build.
yeah, no, that makes sense. It's and one of the things that you brought up that's so important, I think, to everybody who's on Substack, but really anybody anywhere. We always compare ourselves to somebody who's doing better.
Mm.
As soon as you do reach 5,000, you're no longer comparing yourself to the person that's has 2,000. You're comparing yourself to 10,000 and 15,000, and I'm not growing as fast as that person. And there's two. I'm also very competitive. I grew up playing soccer, basketball, and my mindset is if somebody else can do it, I can figure out a way to do it. I just need to
Absolutely.
work to do it. And having publications like yours that really help guide it, you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to rebuild the wheel from the
Um,
beginning. There's so much advice out there. Now, you started 2 years ago,
mhm,
and that really has coincided with the AI boom
mhm.
everywhere, especially around content creation. So, what would you say is the single biggest piece that changed about what works or how Substack works between 2 years ago and today?
I mean, f- um, if you look at the exact timeline, I think ChatGPT was already around for a year and a little bit more than
Yeah.
that when we
Mhm.
joined Substack. So it was already in a place where people were used to AI for content generation. But I
Mhm.
think it massively accelerated. I think when we joined, it was quite hard to create an infographic, an amazing looking
Oh,
image
yeah.
with AI.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, it's completely normal. Everyone can do it. We're at a level where I'm no longer sure if I see something, if it's real
Yeah.
or not. Do I love it? Absolutely not. So, for example, a couple of days ago, I saw a creator. I'm not going to drop any names, but this creator was sharing a screenshot of certain earnings from a platform, and it was absolutely scam because it was a weekday, and that weekday was not matching the calendar date. So I'm like, okay, if you create
It
something
was
like
AI
this,
generated.
okay, yeah, everyone can do this nowadays. So
Yeah.
the one thing that really changed, in my opinion, not only on Substack but in the creator industry, is that it gotten so easy to create products compared to how hard it is to sell
Yeah.
something. So when I started my business, I was making money by creating video courses, 20-minute courses about
Mhm.
Instagram, for example, or about how to pitch an investor. It was all about creating the course, then uploading it, and then the marketing was like just 20% of it.
Mhm.
Nowadays, I would say it's 99% building trust with your audience, figuring
Mhm.
out the positioning, and then building a product with your audience rather
Yeah.
than building something for them and them finding a way to sell it. And that's where the AI comes in because AI makes it super easy to create scripts for articles, for books, for
Mhm.
even coaching sessions. You basically,
Yeah.
if you get the questions ahead of time, you can just run them through an AI and throw this back at the people. They will
Yeah.
figure it out if you're lazy. If you're doing a good job, I think no one will figure out. But you will be like operating at a very low level. And nowadays, I don't think that's enough. So to basically sum up all of my rambling, I think the one shift that we've really seen is that building trust becomes more and more important.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Building trust is I mean, that's one of the reasons that I think lives are so useful
absolutely.
because you get to see the people, you get to see the faces behind typing. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is there Substack provides so many opportunities. I've
Mhm.
been able to start 3 businesses out of Substack within since I started 8, 9 months ago, since I went paid. And in any business, wherever you are, there are 2 ways I think to really get value. One of them is being a first comer and to just have, do something that nobody else is doing. But in Substack, that doesn't really work because everybody comes in. I saw a statistic recently that I'm in an AI leadership
Mhm.
newsletter area. There are something like 15 new AI newsletters every single day. So in a market where there are thousands of people claiming to be the expert. I mean, same thing in Substack coaching. There are people with 50 subscribers who just started Substack, but they're claiming to be Substack experts. And I'm gonna help you make $1 million within 6 months.
Send them my way. I could need them.
And but it's a place where everybody can claim anything now, and everybody's using the same AI tools, and
Mhm.
it's leading to so much content that looks exactly the same across everywhere. So when it's so easy to now create content, how how do you think people need to find value and differentiate themselves to stick out?
Mhm. I can tell you from our own experience from working with hundreds of creators in one-on-one settings, the majority of people don't pay that much attention to the written content anymore. They really want to see and experience the people that they are getting in bed with, that they
Mm,
are working with, especially when we are talking someone paying you $500 for an hour of coaching or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Then they love to see you on YouTube. They love to see you on a live stream. They love to check in with what you're doing for a while. And I just sitting there and writing about things is something that everyone can do. So you mentioned yourself 15 AI newsletters come up every now and then. So there's a huge demand and a huge need for it because the AI space is moving so fast. I cannot catch
yeah,
up with it. I have no chance. So what can I do? I can trust you, someone else, or other people who curate the content, and make it easy for me to understand. But that's cool. But if I want to listen to this, why should I pay attention to you and not to someone else? And this is
Mhm.
what people really need to figure out, because just creating a Substack profile and saying, I help you go from
Yeah.
7 to 8 figures a month does not mean that I trust you. You really need
Yeah.
to show that you have the trust. And the best way to do that is by having other people be your testimonials. So one thing that we are doing, if someone decides that they want to work one-on-one with us and they still have doubts, we allow them to reach out to a couple of our testimonials.
Oh, that's
Obviously,
awesome.
we first ask them if it's fine for them,
Yeah.
because if I join a program of yours or use one of your products and you send me hundreds of people every day, hey, Philip, is this really cool? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
probably going to throw up and we will have a serious talk. No, but sometimes it makes sense. And the
Yeah.
same is true for, if you take a look at some of those offers. If you understand customer psychology a little bit, you can quickly filter out who's serious or not. I mean, you are much more in the AI space than I am. But if you end up on a landing page, I think it's not so hard to figure out if a testimonial is real or not. Go to the page, see if there's a picture that looks AI generated and there's only a first name, you already know this is not real. If there's a
Yeah.
full name, probably go to Substack, see if this person really exists. Feel free to reach out to them. Or what I prefer, at least nowadays, as of 2026, testimonial videos. I'm pretty sure in 2 years from
Yeah.
now, every
Huh.
landing page will be full with testimonial videos that are AI generated as well. But as of
Yeah.
right now, it's quite hard to clone someone's face. At least if you're not in the AI space, you would not instantly know how to do this. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's it is it's a time when it's so easy to just create content. And
Mm.
you I mean, I feel like if you have a newsletter that has the name AI in it, or Learn AI, or Learn ChatGPT, you're gonna blow up. But how does that translate to true value? And that's one of the things that I think is so hard for, especially when we have late, and I'm sure you see this a lot. Lazy people will
Mhm.
try to use AI to take a shortcut.
Yeah.
And really not, I don't need to learn, I don't need to provide value. I just need to enter a prompt, copy paste it, and put it in. Do you ever talk to clients who you see, okay, they're just not willing to put in the work? They're really just trying to get a shortcut and get
Yeah, I
wealthy.
mean, we work with a lot of creators who are established on other platforms. Some of them are successful
Mm,
on LinkedIn, some of them are on Instagram. And when someone reaches out, we always see if we're fit for each other. If
mm,
someone says, hey, can you
that's
just
good.
take my articles and post them on Substack? That just does not work. I mean, I
Yeah,
love it when they say, hey, can you use my articles as the base? Help me figure out how I can publish
mm,
them on Substack. So we're not doing a lot of done for you services. I'm also not a big fan of just copy pasting something from A to B. I'm a fan of
yeah,
educating people to figure things out. But whenever someone approaches it with the mindset like, I have this amount of content, I've published this 5 years ago on my
yeah,
blog, on my WordPress, on my blog, or whatsoever, can I just copy paste this on Substack? The truth is always no, you cannot, because that's not
mhm,
how it works. Because if that would be working, everyone would be super amazing and everyone would be creating that much content. And it's always, I mean, you mentioned earlier, um, the value of it. What is really the value of a newsletter? Do you call it value when you have 40,000 subscribers? Do you call it value when you make 6 figures a month from it? Is it
mhm,
value when you provide customer transformation? This is really something that I want people to be completely honest on. Because if you ask
yeah,
someone, they always say, yeah, I want to help this and that people. It's totally fine for me. But be honest with me.
mhm,
If you want to build a business, you also need to make money with it. And
yeah,
oftentimes people struggle with making these clear decisions, and especially those people that take shortcuts with AI. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem with taking shortcuts. I also love to take every shortcut that I
mhm,
can, but I'm still not shying away from the work. The cool thing about AI is it allowed me and my team to get things done in 5 hours that usually take us 25 hours, which means
mhm,
we have so much more time to spend it where it's most important, which is on our clients and helping them
yeah,
achieve their results. And if you use AI that way, it's not cutting corners, it's just using the tools you have in a smart way. And that's what I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, that's something I write about often is you have lazy AI use,
Mm,
which the way I define lazy AI is you use an AI to think for you.
mm,
You're just not thinking, you're just using AI to do everything for you, versus strategic AI is exactly what you said. I'm gonna use AI to do the things that I really don't enjoy doing or that it don't bring value to me,
yeah,
to have so much more time to focus on what I do love, what I do wanna strengthen. And I often tell creators and tell I do coaching. So since January, I opened up, coaching to my readers. And it's funny, I have almost every week, I have 2 to 3 readers who are CEOs, executives who ask for
nice.
coaching, and they're never the people who comment, who like, who engage. It's people who have never but they read every week and they found value and they ask for that value. But when I talk to them, I ask them, the way that you know if you're using AI well is look at yourself a year ago.
Mm,
Are you more of an expert at whatever you're doing? Are you better at whatever your expertise is than a year ago? If the answer is no, that means you're not using it right. That means it's thinking for you
mm,
and you're fading into the background. But if you are using AI correctly, just like you were saying, it should have given you so much more time to focus on what you really like to do. And you're going to be so much better at it.
yeah, I love that. Basically, leveraging AI to become a better version of yourself, a better operator,
Mhm.
better business owner. That makes a lot of sense. That's cool.
So, one of the biggest questions that I see on really businesses, I work
Mhm,
with a lot of businesses who are on the marketing side and they want to automate with AI. And I would imagine that you see this with creators that you work with
mhm,
as well, where they want to use AI. How do you talk to people on how to use AI while not losing their voice in the process?
mhm. I mean, the most important part is that you use AI as a support and not let it do the thinking for you, like you said earlier. So
Mhm.
one way that works for me, and once again, I completely say this openly and I want to stress it one more time. I'm not a writer myself. So for me, AI is a tool that I can leverage in order to create the content and share my message. I don't mind if I'm the best writer or if the AI that's writing for me is the best writer. So how does my workflow look like? I go on a long run. I come up with an amazing idea. I take a short pause. I speak then this note into ChatGPT with the right prompt. It turns my thoughts into content. It throws something back at me. I do some editing and I post it. This is how my workflow works. I come up with it. I do the first 10%, or probably depending on how much you value the idea. But I come up with the initial idea. Then I have the AI given the structures where me and my team know that work on Substack, create something, then I adjust it a little bit and then I post it. Now, some people could say, hey, Philip is using AI to write everything for him. It's up to you. Please judge.
Yeah, it goes back to what's important for you.
Mm,
Honestly, if if this was 15 years ago and I didn't have the AI research tools that I have and I didn't have the
mm,
AI copy editing tools, there's just no way that I would be able to have a Substack. I just don't have the time. I'm running 4 businesses and I'm this so what my AI use is very similar to yours, except I use Claude for everything. But it starts. I usually go outside. I'll go walk,
mm,
and I'll start dropping ideas into a notepad, a voice notepad that I have. And then whenever I have time, I sit down and I say, usually on Wednesdays, and I'll say, okay, which one of these topics do I want to address? I want to address this one. And
mm,
it always starts with 3 to 4 paragraphs of just me dumping everything that's in my
mm,
mind, the thoughts and so for example, um, keeping your voice with AI. Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, I have a post coming up soon, is when everybody's using AI, everybody's going to sound the same if you're not adding your voice. So a lot of what I'm doing is how can I help people understand use AI but plug in your expertise so that it's you enhanced with AI rather than just AI posted by you. So I go back and forth. I have probably 22 pages of instructions for Claude that it references every time I
Mhm,
ask for an article, and we go back and forth, and we talk about the title, we talk about the subtitle. It searches SEO for me. What's gonna resonate on Google? What's and it really is like instead of me writing on a typewriter in front of a computer, it really is almost a coffee chat with
mhm.
AI, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and at the end I have an article.
Yeah.
It's different for the I imagine for Sinem or for Jari, the whole process is different, but it's so
No, it
important to
works
find.
similar for them.
Oh, it
But
does.
but do you do this process for long form articles or also for notes? Because for a note, for me, this sounds like a lot of work. I'm not a big fan of
I don't
going
do it
20
for
times
notes.
back and forth. Yeah,
I
that's what
don't
I
do it
thought.
for notes. Honestly, my note I spend a long time on my articles,
Mm,
and then I have a Claude skill that combs through my most
mm,
once every 2 weeks, it comes through my most recent articles that were posted, and it generates the text into a spreadsheet of 5 notes per post
mm,
that digest that post with marketing, in mind and everything else, and then I have an automation that
yeah,
puts them on there. So, usually, one of my notes per day is automated, one of them is just something that comes to mind that I just post myself.
yeah. So you post the notes after you've published the article. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Because a lot of times when we work with clients who have the goal in mind to write a book, we tell them start testing your ideas first as a note,
Oh, that's
collect
interesting.
feedback, then you turn it into an article, you collect feedback again, and then this article goes into the chapter of your book or the module of your course.
Mhm. Yeah. Writing so that's actually how I started Substack
Mm,
about a little bit a year and a half ago. I was wanting to I'm in the nonprofit space a lot with
mm,
business. AI can use can help nonprofits so much to do things that they weren't able to do before. You can do with AI and a team of 5 what you needed a team of 20 marketers before. So I
mm,
started writing a book about it, and every time I went to an agent, they kept telling me, "That's a great idea, but you don't have an audience. That's a
mm,
great idea.
mm,
You don't have an audience. That's a great idea." And that's really when I started writing Substack. And really, Substack, I've just enjoyed it so much that it's kind of been the end
mm,
goal. Um, but you have to have a goal in mind. And to the
yeah.
question of Sasheen here, she said, in a space where many creators share similar ideas, how you develop a voice or perspective that people remember? What do you think there?
For me, it's all about understanding that you need to build trust with your audience because what the people really remember is what we call your personal brand. Basically, what people think of you, talk of
Mhm.
you when you leave the room. And this is something that can make you stand out from anyone else. So,
Hmm.
we on Substack, we focus a lot on this. So, if anyone listened here today, they probably remember things like that I wanted to be a tennis professional. This basically ties into why I'm such a sports addict, that I collect signed jerseys, or that I run a business together with my wife, things like this. Maybe they remember that you go on hikes, like you mentioned early on, and that's
Mhm.
where you come up with your ideas and you run them back and forth. Oftentimes, we remember certain emotions, certain stories much more
Mhm.
than just the content that people provided. One person that's really, really good at this is the founder of ClickFunnels. I learned so much about business from Russell Branson, but one thing that he's really good at is telling stories and tying them to a learning.
Mhm.
I really love this because yeah, sometimes on Substack, when we create an article like 25 things you need to do to improve your publication, people go through those. They are super actionable. And you
Mhm.
need to do this first, this first, this first, this first. But this works for people who love to work through checklists. Other people love to learn from stories. Those people cannot do anything with this kind of article.
Yeah.
They see it and
Yeah.
think like, oh, 25 things, I don't mind. I want to give me a story, give me the
Yeah.
intro, tell me why this is important. And this is something that I love to do in order to build my brand or my voice on a platform. So I love to talk a lot about the things that really inspire me, that I'm passionate for. And then you either connect with me or you think like, I would never run a business with my wife. I would never go for a trail run for 5 hours. Then, okay, it's fine. I can help you with Substack. At least you remember me whenever you are, yeah. You don't want to go
Yeah.
for a run or whatsoever.
Yeah, it and I think it goes back to that's the pieces of yourself. So
Mm,
you go hiking. Philip, I'm gonna remember Philip. This is how he writes his articles. And next time I see your name on Substack, I'm gonna remember. Oh, I wonder, was he running when he got this idea? How did this
mm,
come about? Because we're people, and I think people resonate with other people.
mm,
So many times I see AI newsletters or AI articles that really all they talk about is how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. And it's really actionable, really, really good advice. But the ones that really strike me are the ones that have personal stories in them. The ones that start with, I was, I ran into, my car broke down and
mm.
I pulled up my phone and I figured out how to fix the cables and I was able to get back on the road and go to my vacation. And let me show you now how I did that. But it starts with a human story that people can relate to. There's emotions involved, and at least to me, that really makes a story pop, and it reminds me, okay, there's an actual person on the other side of this, and
Yeah.
and I can relate.
And exactly what you just said also ties into why I think Substack has such a bright future, because it allows you to be human with your notes, for example, and you
Mhm,
can also be professional with your publication. Because let's be honest, we've worked with so many writers back when we had the Medium Writing Academy, where they said
mhm,
like, yeah, my expertise is online marketing, but I also want to write about my dog. I also want to write about this and that. And there we basically needed to tell them, yeah, wave it into your articles, but that's
yeah,
all you can do. You cannot be an expert for online marketing and
mhm,
every third post is about your dog. That just does not make sense if you cannot tie it together. But on
yeah,
Substack, you can. You can post as many notes of you walking your dog, whatever you want, and still have your professional publication. And on top of that, you can always wave your dog into the articles. But
yeah.
like notes is really here to build the personal brand, while the articles are really here to help you foster your expertise, build trust, and yeah, establish hopefully long lasting relationships with your audience.
And I'm actually gonna remember that. So if there's an AI creator that has pictures of their dogs in every other note, I'm gonna remember, oh, that's the dog loving AI creator,
Uh,
and that almost becomes a brand in itself.
I can share one funny thing. If you take a look at my co-founder's Yaris profile, you see his dog Bonko on his profile picture. We
Yeah,
mention
yeah, yeah.
Bonko a lot in our calls and live streams. And so we are playing with the idea of hosting an in-person Substack event for our community
Oh,
in
wow.
probably December or the beginning of next year. And we only communicated this inside our mastermind
That's
group.
amazing.
And the first question that people ask was, will Bonko also come? And it's like, where you think like, what the fuck? Why are you first thinking about the dog? We haven't even mentioned which city it will be in. And so
Oh,
it
that's
was
funny.
like, yeah, but that's how people love to connect with you. And
Yeah,
that's just cool. I,
yeah.
and to be honest, that's also what makes this being a creator and building a business thing more human. Because
Mhm,
I mean, I told you earlier, for me, it's important to run the business with people that I really enjoy, that I love, so that I can have fun while
mhm.
building my business. If I would not enjoy these live streams, if we would not have both laughed at least 5 times while doing this live stream, I would probably no longer continue doing those. I
Yeah.
need to have fun, otherwise I cannot, yeah, perform. Let's call it that way. Dogs
Oh,
and
yeah.
food, William says, absolutely.
Oh, I have a 7-year-old, and she every single day, she's trying to convince us to buy a dog. So, we're getting close. We have a cat, but I think we'll be getting a dog soon.
uh, Sinem and I, we have phases in our lives where we always watch a specific TV episode. Usually, we watch 1 or 2 episodes a evening, and currently we're watching Brooklyn 99. And there's, do you know
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
Mhm.
this episode where Terry, this super trained guy, basically said like his daughters wanted him to buy him a horse, and he negotiated them down to a hamster. Those girls need to learn a lot for life.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I
Maybe you
am
should try that.
my daughter rides horses, so
Okay.
she's used to really big animals, and I'm just wanting to bring a little tiny dog into the house that
Yeah.
can but anyway, So, a question, I like to be around 30 to 40 minutes. So as we close off, a question, if you have, I had it written somewhere. Um, so you have a creator who is just recently starting,
Mhm,
you know, 200 to 500 subscribers,
mhm,
and they're just wondering what what are the main things that I should keep in mind. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I have a really good message. I have experience. I have expertise, and how do I push forward?
mhm.
Obviously, subscribe to Write, Build, Scale, and sign up. But
Nah. To be honest, it's always hard to give this blanco advice without taking a look at the creator
yeah,
themselves. I'm just mentioning a couple of things that could be the case here. So when you say like they already know that they have a huge expertise, they know what they are doing. This is oftentimes dangerous because every platform is a little bit different.
hmm,
Oftentimes we work with people who said like, yeah, I've published hundreds of um, university papers and I'm a doctor and I know how to write. Yeah, but do you know how to
it's
write
different.
on the
Yeah,
internet? That's the most important part. You need to figure
hmm,
out how to write on the internet. Second thing, if you take a look at Substack, there's always the same advice. Everyone tells you you need to be consistent. But let's be honest, being consistent without getting expert feedback is like being insane.
yeah,
If you do the same thing over and over again without someone who knows what you're doing wrong, telling you,
yeah,
providing you with feedback, you might end up struggling and not even noticing it. Second thing. The third thing is I would focus on building meaningful relationships. I think you are someone who's really good at building relationships. You reached out to me. We've had a couple of back and forths. And yeah, now we're doing a live stream. I think we've been recommending each other as well. So there's a lot
hmm,
of things you can achieve on Substack if you are willing to care for others. So if you
yeah,
would have reached out to me saying, Philip, let's do a live stream. When do you have time? I'm like, yeah, for you never. But since we had a back and
yeah,
forth and since you're a cool guy and I see you on Substack all the time and you build multiple things, I thought like, yeah, okay, it's time. I should have done this probably months ago. Let's finally do
well,
this.
thank you.
So no, it's well deserved. So really think about when you want to take your Substack seriously. Do you really know what you're doing? If you think you really know it, it's totally fine. Then you will see results. If not, you might need some feedback. And for those people who now have been waiting for an entire list of things that you can do differently, go to the White Build Scale publication, take a look
There you
at
go.
365. I think when we've been 1 year on the platform, we published an article with 365 things that we learned about business and about Substack. If you take a look at this article and you cannot find at least one thing that you can implement today, call me. I'm happy to invite you for dinner.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's such a good point. So many times I see this on notes by experts on Substack, and it's just consistency, consistency. But if you're doing the wrong things,
Mm,
it doesn't matter how many times you post. If you're doing the wrong things, you're gonna keep
yeah.
getting wrong results.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go where you want it to go.
I mean, it must be the same for your industry. I know you mentioned you do everything with Claude, but let me rephrase the question that you had earlier on.
Yeah.
Let's say someone's here, he's new to building a creator business. They have like, yeah, they just started out. They have a rough idea they want to do something with online marketing, but they don't know exactly what to do. They want to use an AI to help them. Is the right question for them to ask themselves, should I use ChatGPT or should I use Claude? Or is it better off saying, hey, figure out how to use those tools properly? Because
Mhm.
we see this a lot of times in our community. People ask, yeah, which is the best online writing tool? Which is the best AI tool? Which is the best tool for this and that? And most of the times the question is not which is the best tool, but how good are you at using any of those tools?
Yeah.
That's at least my experience. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think one of the main errors that people make is they try to become an expert in everything. So there's a new article on Gemini, and they jump over to Gemini. There's a new article on Claude, I'll jump over to Claude, and then ChatGPT has ChatGPT 5 point something, and they jump over to ChatGPT, and they never understand what is the best use of AI for them.
Mhm,
What some people ask me all the time, what is the best AI? And all I can answer is what's the best AI for me?
Mm,
For me, for the way I think, for the way that I process, Claude is the best for me.
mm,
I know a lot of great creators who use ChatGPT, and it works with how they think, and
mm,
you have to find something that works for you.
yeah,
And really, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, they're you're not gonna go wrong in 2026. They're all gonna produce great content. One of the main recommendations that I have for people, if they haven't done that yet, is whatever AI you're using, ask for it to do an in-depth interview of
mm,
yourself to capture your voice, your quirks, your humor, and then add that to the memory of whatever AI you're using. And you're gonna see how much more uniquely you the answers that
mm,
come back are.
yeah,
I sometimes people expect AI to be this all-knowing thing that is just, gonna do magic for you. But if in the same way that if I hire a research, assistant and I just say, "Hey, find me information about bright build scale,"
mm,
they're gonna go out. They don't know exactly what I'm wanting. They don't know if I'm wanting what makes them unique or what brings them value or what's their latest product. I have to give so much information to that research assistant of what I want in an answer. We have to do the same thing with AI,
yeah.
but we just try to skip a lot of that.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, I'm a big fan of influencers, not in a way like I admire them or whatsoever, but I'm a big fan of finding one person in their field that knows what they are talking about
Yeah,
and following their advice. And that
yeah,
has worked for me super well. We basically rebuilt our entire business infrastructure after how Pat
mm,
Flynn has built it 10 years ago. And now we're using it for 9 years. So that's why we use ClickFunnels, Teachable, ConvertKit, and
yeah,
so on because we've seen that it works and we love to adapt that. Has there been better platforms? Absolutely, but I
mhm.
just don't want to change every week, every month, every year my entire infrastructure. And the same is what I would do with an AI writing tool, with any kind of software as a service. Find someone who you trust, who's using that, and yeah, learn from
And
that
I'm doing the
person.
same with I'm doing the same with Right Build Scale. I mean, I've gotten so much out of what you all are doing. So it's been genuinely helpful for me as I grow Substack. So I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
I pass on the flowers to the two guys, to my wife and Yari, who are writing the articles.
Yeah, yeah,
As I said, I'm
and
just here to do the live streams to have fun.
hey, that works. Somebody's got to have all the fun.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
if there's one thing that I really took away that I'm gonna remember is somebody asked on chat, how do you know what value you're adding
Mm,
through your work? And one of the things that you said is, what did they think? What did you leave them thinking when you leave the room?
mm,
That's such a cool thing. After people read your post, what is that one thing that they're gonna remember? And
yeah.
just to keep that in mind as you're creating, as you're building, it's just an awesome reminder, not just in Substack, but in business and in life. That's a lot of wisdom right there.
Yeah, I completely agree. One thing that I love to sometimes ask people at the end of a live stream, what's like your one message that you would love to have on a billboard for everyone to see? So I give you a couple of seconds to think. So anyone who's ever been uh, hearing about leadership in change, what is like one message you would love to give them so that they
Oh,
can take away with
that's
them?
good. That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I was sharing earlier. AI, you have to know what your expertise is. You
Mm,
have to know who you are, how you add value, and then bring in AI to amplify that. And if you use well, AI is going to supercharge that. But if used poorly, AI is going to come and replace that expertise, and then you're left with nothing.
mm,
And that's not a good place to be. So when I
mm,
talk to
love it.
when I coach CEOs, when I coach executives, that is a lot of what I'm talking about. As a business, what is your expertise? And build AI to amplify that and solve all this stuff around it. Don't replace what your main expertise, what your main value, what your main love is. If you love
Mm,
writing, if Sin Emerald loves writing, loves sitting down and just writing this long form article, she's not going to use AI to write
yeah,
that for her.
no, I love that.
It's awesome,
Looking
man. I
forward to seeing that billboard.
Oh yeah, I got so much out of it. I got so much out of
Mm,
it. And if anybody in chat got a lot from Philip and everything he shared, please drop a heart. But if you have not, if you're trying to grow on Substack, which I think all of us are, and you have not subscribed and checked out Right Build Scale and everything that they're doing, you're missing out. You're missing out.
mm.
Please go subscribe, check it out. There's so much value in there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Same from my side. If anyone joined through the Right Build Scale audience, make sure to subscribe right now to Leadership in Change. Joel is a really cool guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's not only writing about it, he's also building businesses out of what he's learned. So really cool to have you. It was absolutely time to get you on my Substack live stream bucket list. You've been
I
checkmarked
appreciate
now,
that.
and I'm looking forward to doing that soonish again. Whenever you have
Yeah,
anything you want to have a chat about, just let me know. Happy that we're connected and wish
yeah.
you an amazing day. Thanks everyone who was here.
Hey, you as well, Philip. See ya. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.